Hi everyone, this is our first new podcast called The Hooked Pod. This is myself, Chunk, with my co-host, the Chippy.
That's me, I'm the Chippy.
And what have we been up to today, the Master Chip Meister?
Well, we've been working, but we haven't been working on a pod. We've been working in the business today and getting ready for this special event.
That's right, we bought our brand new racing chairs today.
Yep, but we won't be gaming, we're going to be talking. So what are we talking about?
We're going to be talking everything fishing and talking to legends of the industry and the game and offering advice from filleting and how to catch the big one.
And hopefully a lot of storytelling.
And
People just being able to give us all their experiences and their life in the fishing industry.
Yep.
Also, hopefully we get a lot of rec guys who have been doing it most of their life, and they'll have plenty of tales to tell us as well.
Yes, there's plenty of them out there. Today we're going to interview ourselves, myself and the Chippy over here, just on our stories as to how it's been led to this point and how we've ended up
sitting in these two racing chairs.
Yeah, that works.
Only because they're comfortable.
Yeah.
We're not doing any racing. Anyway, that's good. All right.
We'll start you off with the Chippy.
That's me. We'll go with me at the moment. I've had a few years' experience being a Chippy.
Yes.
Only about 20. I think we're in our 21st year this year, but that's over 3 different businesses.
21 years you've been podcasting?
No, not podcasting. Chippying.
Chippying? Building houses?
Fish and chippying.
Ah, fish and chips. Fire away. Tell us your story. How'd you end up here?
Well, that's... I started in Perth as a child and was there for 50 years and come to the great south coast of WA, Western Australia, after, like I said, 50 years and thought we needed a bit of a sea change. My story starts from a family of 8, 6 kids. I'm the 5th boy. So growing up in Perth, we had a really good childhood, actually. Dad was a hard worker, Mum was a hard worker. We spent many, many years in business in Perth with my family. It was a good friend of mine who I was in business with, him and his brother, and they got me into fish and chips when we brought our first shop. That first shop was quite interesting because it used to be my father's delicatessen, and I worked in there when I was 8. Many, many years later, somebody converted it into a fish and chip shop, and we brought it.
Uh-huh.
I think I was in my 30s then. Yes.
You wouldn't get too many 8-year-olds working these days.
No, we all had to work for our keep back then. Dad had us all working, especially all the 5 boys, working hard.
Very good.
I got into fish and chips after being in different retail, and the family had many businesses, fruit and veggies, newspapers, delicatessen, like I said. We went from there. We had a second business that grew really, really well. I got crook a couple of times and we had a few disappointments along the way, which all families do. It was would have been about 11 years ago now. We started looking around thinking that we'd like to go to the country. Our kids were all older and that all helped us through the fish and chip businesses. And my wife wanted to get closer to the south coast because that's where her father lived. So I'd been looking on the internet for quite some time and we found a property that we thought we might like to buy and get out of Perth and get down to the coast and live somewhere near the beach, which was always a bit of a dream of the wife's. That's what we did.
Sounds like a good dream.
Well, it was. A lot of hard work in between, and when we sold our last business, we had enough money to be able to purchase the property that this business is now in, hooked on Middleton Beach. That was a bit of a dream to get our own building. Hayley, our daughter, decided she'd had enough of accounting at the time, and she said to me one day, after being in a very male-dominated industry, I want to do something else, and if you're going to move to the country, I want to join you. And I said, well, yep, that's a good idea. You might have to come to Albany, though. She didn't scoff at that at all. Being a bit of a party girl and that, I thought that would be difficult for her. We ended up coming down here, buying the building after a lot of negotiation with a farmer. Very difficult to get him off his tractor. we ended up down here, and Janine and I and Hayley, we got to work and started Hooked.
Started the monster.
Well, yeah, all businesses are monsters. A lot of hard work. You don't pay yourself for a long time, and then hopefully everything clicks and you end up enjoying yourself down the track.
How hard a decision was it to leave it all behind? And
because of all our children had grown up, and really we only had our son, our fourth child, living at home, and he was in the business with us. We didn't really have too many ties to Perth, so it wasn't that difficult. Starting from scratch is very risky, but we had the knowledge of years before and thought that we could do it.
yeah. And what drew you to Albany? Was your wife's father here in Albany, or did you have family here? Or
No, he was about 3 hours away, and Perth was 4 hours. Actually, Perth was 7 hours from where he was living, so us coming to Albany meant we only had a 3-hour travel to get to where he was to see him. The reason we came to Albany, we were looking coastal. We were looking coastal all the time, and we wanted to find a property instead of leasing all the time. So I had seen it on the internet a few times, this property, didn't think much of it. Ended up coming down here for a friend's birthday, and we saw the property. We walked past it to get a coffee one morning and realised that was the one on the internet.
yeah,
Janine, my wife, she got very excited when we saw the building, and so we came down like 2 more weekends in a row, got to know the real estate people, come and had a look at the building, realised it was an old restaurant, still had everything left in it. Someone had gone broke in it over about 8 years.
So the person you bought it off had gone broke before.
Yeah, no, we brought the freehold off a farmer, but he had leased it to somebody who did not have a successful business over time. So it was up for lease or for sale, and we thought, no, we want to buy the building if we're going to come all the way to Albany from Perth. 4-hour trip, we had to bring our whole,
Life with you.
our everything with us. So we thought, well, if we're going to come this far, we're not leasing anything, we're going to buy. And, yep, we were eventually able to do that, which was great. And then all the hard work started to get another business off the ground. And, in something that we knew, I had to go and find fishermen. I went down to the boat ramp and I knew some names from the market up in Perth, the fish market, and I found a guy. I was on the side of his trailer. That was Huey Gilbert, and got to know him. He introduced me to other fishermen. We were able to start buying fish.
That was your connection.
It was, yeah, and
Yep.
the local processor down here was able to provide us with fish. So very fortunate. It was a great town because there are fishermen here, and being, the Southern Ocean.
How many fishermen are you in contact with getting all your fish off?
Probably about 8 now. Took a long time to get there,
Yep.
but once you know one, they know others, and
Snowball effect.
exactly. Fish is one of the, people don't want to eat frozen fish, which is imported. They want to eat fresh fish, and especially a place coastal like Albany, people want to eat local fish,
Yeah.
local produce. So we were very fortunate to be able to do that.
What was your next step after your fishermen? Staff? Hunting down staff?
Yeah. Yeah,
You would have needed a couple of them?
Yeah. Well, it took us 4 weeks to get the shop up and running. We had to repaint most of it. Before we came to Albany, after we'd bought the building, my family, the 3 girls and my son, all decided to knuckle down and help us design a shop, which we had to do. We had to come up with a name, the branding, the furniture, what sort of, we come up with like a beachy style. We brought a fish tank down because we really wanted to make it, life on the beach sort of business.
Yeah.
Which hopefully I'm sure it has become because of where we are. So, yep, we're very lucky with all that. We brought everything with us from Perth in trucks, and we just painted, scrubbed the kitchen.
Yeah.
It all needed a bit of work because there'd been no one in here for eight months or so.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we had a lot of work to do. And I had to fix the cool room, fix the dishwasher. A lot of things had broken.
What did you think when you walked in and had a look after 8 months and no one there?
It wasn't good. There was, and the other thing was, it was a French restaurant, so there was, cast iron black furniture with red velvet seats.
Oh, gorgeous.
Yeah, we inherited the whole lot when we brought it, and so we started selling a lot of it off, and then we brought all our own down and made the beachy theme. So, it's been a long time. It's one thing I always talk about to my family and other people who are interested. I mean, if you put the hard work in, you do get a return. So, we've always done that, and we've always been lucky. We got a return, and we're still here, and we're still, doing really good. We've been able to expand, and it's been very successful for us to move.
Yeah, that's good.
Chunk, you've been another one who's joined us in the business.
Yes.
And
eating too much chips. I had to buy dividends. I did end up marrying one of your daughters, didn't I?
Yep, the one that means the most because she's the one in the business.
Yeah, that's right. I had been in the construction industry for 16 years as both a carpenter and a cabinet maker, and it was when COVID sort of all started. You were losing a few workers, and it was a lot better for the family dynamic with having a young family.
Yep. You thought a bit of free time would be good?
Yeah, I thought I'd get to just have brekkie and dinner with my family. Would be nice. Instead of leaving home at 6 and getting home at 6 every day.
Nothing to do with your sore shoulders from football days, mate?
Nothing to do with that. I wasn't really thinking of that at the time, but I don't miss coming home sore anymore.
No.
I can tell you that.
It's good because when you do get into business for yourself, you can manage your time yourself. Take periods of time off when you need it and work the busy periods.
Yeah, I am learning all this business stuff off yourself there, Chip. It's been very good. But do you remember my first day? The very first, on all my construction sites I've worked with over the years, there's been some seriously silly things I've seen.
My toe remembers it.
Yeah. I think it was within the first hour this big delivery come in, and anyway, I've picked this box of whatever up, and it's had a sauce bottle on the top, 1 litre sauce bottle of some sort. I can't remember what it was. And it's landed square on the Chip toe and broke it and sent it black, and there was no toenail, and he could not walk for...
I couldn't even kick you out the door, could I? I was
no,
in that much
I actually
bloody
think
pain.
you had about 3 days off. And I felt like...
Oh, come on, mate, I don't have 3 days off in a row.
And, I felt pretty bloody stupid, to be honest. That was not a good moment to, especially starting a new job.
That's right.
He would have been thinking, what have I done here?
Yeah, well, who has my daughter married?
Yeah, some idiot.
No, it's worked out well.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, and you like fishing too. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, we're not in the fishing industry, but we're in the fish industry. So, and you've always been very fishy sort of a person, got your own boat, likes going on weekends to go fishing. And
yeah, I am halves in a boat with my dad, and I probably would have never have come on board if you don't do what you do within the business with filleting all the fish and so involved with the fishermen themselves, that was...
Yeah, well, you see them all the time as well.
Yeah,
have a good chat about it.
I enjoy seeing the big ones, the little ones, and I like to talk a bit of rubbish, tell all the new people. We have a few backpackers that work for us from time to time, and I love pulling an elbow slapper out of the bin and, which is a King George whiting, which you call them an elbow slapper.
3 metre flatties.
3 metre flatties. And
out of the estuary.
So, yeah, it's all good fun, and I am a bit obsessed with fishing. But...
Well, it's actually quite interesting how many people that we do employ have never actually seen the fish that we fillet.
Yeah, that is true. I'm amazed by that.
The amount of staff we have and the amount that come on and go, it's like, yeah, mate, it doesn't come out of a can.
Yeah.
It comes out of a tub.
Yeah.
Off a guy's ute.
Yeah.
Out of a net or hooked out in the ocean. So how has the family life been since you started and you thought that you might be able to have breakfast and dinner at home and a bit different to the carpentry life?
Yes, very different. Besides December and January, which, is...
all hands on deck.
All hands on deck, very busy. I am home for breakfast and dinner every morning.
But it's been
apart
good.
From the odd one.
been great.
Plus, I can have a day off in the week if I need to go do something during weekday hours. And there's the four of us, yourself, Janine, your wife, and Hayley, and I'm here learning.
Yep.
So we can all scratch each other's backs a bit more.
There's always something to do, isn't there?
Which is a lot of work in the
People
summer.
don't realise that when you're in business for yourself, there's never a day that you're not thinking about it.
No.
There's always something going on, a staff member not coming in or stock that we've got to find. One of the biggest issues that we do have is that getting fresh fish is not always possible down on the south coast here in Albany, is because of the weather. And I mean, we've got the Southern Ocean and the easterlies in summer when I need fish the most.
Mm.
The problem is the weather's not conducive always to getting the fishermen out.
Yeah, that's true.
Mainly because of the size of their boats, and a lot of them are hooking and they want to go out to the shelf and catch good fish and bigger fish and have full days of fishing instead of half days. So it is quite difficult. So that's why I have to get some down from Perth, stuff that comes from Kalbarri, from Carnarvon, from Exmouth. That's why I always use Broome Spanish mackerel.
Yep.
Because we've always got a good supply of that year round, and it comes frozen, but it's a fantastic product that we've been using for 20 years. And if you don't have fish like that, you can't always have a premium fish on the menu.
Yep. So
you need to sort of think out of the box a bit, or think that, during some times of the year, and because we've been doing it for quite some time now, we do know those times of the year when we need to look elsewhere for fish. We'll always have some local fish, but it might only be estuary fish. We can't always get ocean fish because the boats can't get out there. So, sometimes you got to put a bit in the freezer when you get a big load in.
And you always try to keep it within WA?
Yeah, we do. Because our business is in Albany, we want to try and keep the fish as close to Albany as we can.
Yeah.
Because people come to these destinations, when they travel around Australia, grey nomads travelling by caravan or people doing laps, you always want to go and eat at a place, and you want to eat the produce from that area.
Yeah, well, that's true.
We went to Tassie last year and the year before, and we ate oysters because we knew that we could buy them off the farm. We knew they'd be cheap. We want to try their oysters because we're in Tassie, and they're famous for oysters, scallops, crayfish, things like that. So I think when people come here, we always want to have, as much as we can, local seafood.
Yeah, because you've got the local oysters now, don't you?
That's right, Albany rock oysters from Lewin Coast, and they've been a fantastic hit for us this year.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we were able to buy them direct from them for the first time this year, and hopefully it's going to run for about 7 months.
Wow.
And, have them in store that are takeaway or dine in, and with a nice mignonette vinaigrette, and people can have beautiful fresh oysters.
Yeah.
So that has been fantastic, and the more of that we can do, the more people we get through the door enjoying local seafood.
And that's what probably led you to Hobart later last year. Last year, isn't it? We're in the new year now.
Yep, fortunately, for the second time, we've been able to win Australia's Best Chippy. We were able to go to Tassie, and Hayley and I and my wife Janine, we had a fantastic trip over there. It all culminated in the Seafood Directions Award night, which is every second year. So the Australian seafood industry have their awards, and we won Australia's Best Fish and Chip.
Yeah. How many people were you in the running against?
How many people are in it, I'm not really sure. You do get tested on your taste, on, the provenance of your food. You get all about sustainability in the fish species as much as possible. We also do as much as we can in the way of promoting seafood in Australia. I think all these things do help. Hayley put in a fantastic submission, which obviously helped, and through our years of experience, I think would have helped us. So winning the WA one then put us in to the national one, where we had to put another submission in We were up against, I think, 6 or 7, obviously the different states and territories in Australia. And, yeah, we were very excited when we won because we didn't think we were going to win.
No.
It's very hard to tell. But I think with all the work that we do and certainly helped us in the way of promoting our business and promoting the south coast of Western Australia and promoting the fishermen and everything that we do in-house in the way of filleting and putting, fresh stuff on people's plates certainly helped us.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think you helped a bit too, Jeremy, because you've been here for most of 2024. So I think that was certainly helped us get to where we've gotten to.
I'll break your toe.
Yeah, that was earlier on, mate. We'll forget about that. Didn't stop production of our business. There's been a few stories about things like that going on over the years, and like the power going out the other day. And we had the power going out twice, and the one the other day was us because it was 41.7 degrees or something down here.
Albany had its hottest day on record ever,
which is very rare. We had too many air conditioners working and lost the power just for a little bit, but got it back up and going again.
Fridges and freezers working overtime.
Yes. What's been your fond memories over the last, well, not quite 12 months, but...
Not quite 12 months, no.
Starting with us?
Probably putting that big freezer in. We put a big walk-in freezer in, and that's been pretty good. What was your decision in how you ended up putting the freezer into the kitchen?
One of the things we had to do after many years of being in this building that we're in is to create more room and make life easier for ourselves, and building a freezer room which would help us get rid of many freezers. And
how many? Go on, be specific.
I think it was like 6. So you being a chippy and not just a chunk, a carpenter chippy, I mean, that was fantastic for us. Being able to build things and pull things apart, I was quite excited about that. So
I could tell.
We had in our kitchen down there, we did have a toilet and a little storeroom, and it's now a walk-in freezer.
Yes.
And what you did after we ordered the freezer, and you said, well, we'll build that. And I went, will we? And knowing your skill,
I said.
Yeah. I thought, oh, okay, yep, we can build this, no problem. I got Jeremy with me. We'll be fine. But obviously we didn't realise that you probably did, but there was a lot of bricks we had to get rid of.
Yeah, my old D-Max I've got, which is a single cab ute. I think we carted three ute loads of that out.
Yeah.
Pretty chockers.
Yeah. I mean, it was 2 rooms, so...
plus a couple in the van too.
Yeah, the van got filled up a couple of times.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff.
But it's made such a big difference. I mean, not lugging fish all around the shop and being able to have, our frozen hake and our mackerel and that all in the one place, all our chips in the one place, and all our things like Chico rolls, dim sims, everything else, sweet potato wedges, they were just distributed around the shop, upstairs, downstairs, in every crevice we could find. But now at least, we've only got one big freezer where we can fit everything in.
Yeah, and it's not just 1 or 2 boxes of chips.
Just to be able to have everything in the one place instead of walking up and down stairs day in, day out, and the staff used to hate me for it. And we'd just be lugging frozen fish, frozen products, everything up and down, up into our second story here.
Yep.
I can't imagine so many staff just, when I'd ask the question, I knew they would look away and go, oh my, not again. And especially
don't pick me.
Especially when the supplies would arrive and, there'd be 30 or 40 cartons of stuff and I'd go, yep, all that got to go upstairs, boys.
Yeah.
And that was it. I used to get some dirty looks.
Yeah, but you gives out some nice direct orders.
And made life a lot easier for us.
What's been your biggest challenge over the years?
I think just the amount of workload, really. When you grow and grow and grow, you're getting to a stage where you're thinking, right, you've got to give more people responsibility because you can't do it all yourself. That's probably been one of my biggest issues and trying to let go of some of the work that you think you're the only person who can do it.
And have you done this ever?
Slowly. You have to, because I have been doing a bit of study about it, and, I use YouTube to follow different people in business and that, and to actually realise that you can get people who are better than you or have more experience in a specific field in your industry to take over the work, because you can't do it all. And like I said, you've got to work on your business. You can't always be working in it all the time because you run out of hours in the day. So if you do not hand things over to other people, you're going to be stuck doing the same thing, and you're not going to grow. You're not going to have the progress that you want, because you're trying to do it all yourself, and you just don't have the time. Well, I think that's one of the reasons why when you decided to come on board, I was quite excited, because me being 60 years of age, I thought, I don't want to do this for much longer. I've been doing it for a long time now, 20 years, and I thought, maybe retirement should be coming down the track, but we can't retire because we need, you need a livelihood. And when you made a decision, and you guys come to me and said you'd like to join the business, that's given me a new lease on life, just because I know that I've got backup. We can get away, have a holiday, and enjoy things a bit more. Yeah. And sharing the responsibilities between, like you said, the four of us is a lot better. And that's been fantastic over the last 8 or 9 months.
Well, I hope so. You had a month off.
Thanks. Well,
that's a good ratio.
Well,
a month off every 9 months.
2 weeks of that was fishing. You don't call that time off, do you? I was still thinking about the shop when I was out fishing.
I wouldn't have been.
No, we had a great time.
Okay, I think that's about going to wrap it up. Chip, what do you think?
Yeah, sure, mate. That's been great. Thanks for enjoying having a chat, talking about things business, and talking about how you got into this business, and that's fantastic. And by the way, what is your favourite dish, Jezza?
My favourite dish? That's a random question. It's probably a late night bit of toast with a big slab of butter on it. With Vegemite and avocado. What about yours, mate?
Very basic. Well, probably the best dish I've ever had was, I was up at GameX on a boat, and they were actually both my one brother's 2 charter boats. And we were coming back one day from a very unsuccessful tagging expedition on Marlin. We were pretty hopeless at it. And 2 boats pulled up alongside each other, and these guys had caught a tuna. And we were having raw tuna with soy sauce. And they were passing it across from one boat to the other as we were doing about 10 knots each.
Oh, really?
And my son Brad was making it all, because he was the decky on Bernie's boat. And it was probably the best meal I've ever had, because we were eating it straight out of the ocean.
Yeah.
So
fresh.
It was fantastic. So I'd say that's probably my best dish. You can get it that fresh and just slice it up on the boat and eat it. Sensational.
It is good.
Right. Thanks for listening, guys. See you soon.
See you soon, everyone.